Multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. A mixed number is a number composed of an integer and a fraction. For example, -3 is an integer and 2/3 is a fraction. And so together, -3 and 2/3 make up a mixed number. An improper fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is greater than the denominator. So 11/3. -11/3, the numerator is greater than the denominator. I always tell my students a story when I have an improper fraction like this. I tell them, I can carry 3 bags of groceries into the house at one time. This bottom number represents a full load, how many I can carry at one time. So I can carry 3 bags at one time, but there are 11 bags in the trunk of my car. So how many full loads can I take into the house? Well, I can take 3 full loads. I'll have to go to the car and get 3 bags, take them into the house, and then come back out to the car, get 3 more and take them into the house, and then come back out to the car and get 3 more bags and take them into the house. That's 9 bags. And I will have 2 bags left in my car, and my last load will be a light load out of the 3 that I can carry. So I just took an improper fraction and I just changed it back into a mixed number. So if you notice, this improper fraction turned into the mixed number that I showed you in the original example of a mixed number. All right, let's look at the steps for multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. Step 1, if you have a mixed number, use BB&T to convert it to an improper fraction. BB&T, if you remember that from last year, that means bottom times the big plus the top. Bottom times big plus top is BB&T. So here's my bottom number, 3 is my denominator, times big, which is 3. 3 times 3 is 9, plus the top. It's 11. And then my denominator is a 3. It stays a 3. Okay? So I just turned 3 and 2/3 into 11/3 using BB&T. Bottom times big plus top. Number 2, simplify. I'll show you an example of that in just a minute. Number 3, multiply the numerators and denominators. All right, so let's look at this one. If you have a mixed number, you want to convert it into an improper fraction. So bottom times big plus top. Bottom times the big number plus the top number. Bottom number times the big number plus the top number. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 5 is 11. Denominator stays the same. Times 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Bottom number stays the same. All right, this step 2 right here, simplify. I can do that at this point. Simplifying means to simplify the fraction as much as you possibly can. Well, 11 and 6 don't have a common factor, and 9 and 2 do not have a common factor. But there's something that is really cool that you can do when you're multiplying. You can look across and find common factors between your numerators and denominators only. So 9 and 6. 9 and 6 do have a common factor. They have a common factor of 3. So I can simplify the 9 and the 6 by dividing them by 3. I can change the 6 into a 2, because 6 divided by 3 is 2, and I can change the 9 into a 3, because 9 divided by 3 is 3. And now I can multiply straight across. 11 times 3 is 33, and 2 times 2 is 4. 33/4. Then I want to change that improper fraction back into a mixed number. So 33 divided by 4. 4 times 8 is 32, so it goes 8 times with 1 left over out of 4. 8 1/4 is what that's going to turn into. All right. If I had not simplified the 9 and the 6, which you don't have to, let me show you what would have happened. I would have 11 sixths times 9 halves, and I would have to go ahead and multiply across. Multiplication is really easy. You just multiply your numerators and then your denominators. 11 times 9 is 99. And 6 times 2 is 12. But I have 99 twelfths as my answer, but it's not done. It's not simplified, so now I have to simplify it. So I have to figure out what a common factor is of 99 and 12. So thinking through that, I go through my divisibility rules. I start with 2. 2 is a factor of 12, but not 99. Let's go to 3. 3 is a factor of both 12 and 99. So I can divide by 3/3. And that gives me 33/4, which is what I got originally up here. Doing it this way just cuts out that extra step of simplifying later on. So 33/4, which equals 8 1/4 when I divide 33 by 4. All right, let's try this one. 2 2/3 times 1 1/4. Bottom times big plus top. Bottom times big plus top. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. So we get 8/3 times 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 5/4. I can multiply straight across and get 40/12. And then I have to simplify that. I know that 2 goes into both of them. Actually, I know that 4 goes into both of them. That would be a better number. It's a bigger number. So 4 into 40 goes 10 times, and 4 into 12 goes 3 times. I get 10/3. 10 divided by 3 is 3, and 1 left over out of 3. So 3 1/3 is what I get. Now let's try it by top and bottom simplifying. By looking across to see if there are any common factors. So I have 8/3 times 5/4, and I can look across. I can't simplify 5 and 4. They don't have a common factor, and 8 and 3 don't have a common factor, but the numerator 8 and the denominator 4 have a common factor of 4. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice, and then 3 and 5 do not have a common factor, so I stop there. I multiply across, I get 10/3, which is what I got up here. It's just a faster way to simplify those fractions. 10/3 is 3 1/3. So you end up with the same answer. It's just a little bit easier to find what needs to be simplified right here in this step. Okay, apply. So let's apply what we've just learned. Where do you use this in the real world? Let's look. I'm making a new cookie recipe, and it is supposed to make 48 cookies. I want to make it 1 1/2 times as many. My original recipe called for 2 1/4 cups of flour. To make 1 1/2 times as many cookies, how much flour do I need now? Well, if we needed 2 1/4 cups of flour, and we want 1 1/2 times as many, we're going to have to multiply 2 1/4 times 1 1/2. Bottom times big plus top. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And my denominator stays the same. Now I'm going to multiply that by 1 1/2. Bottom times big, which is 2, plus top is 3. 3/2. Now I'm going to just multiply straight across. Or if you can find common factors, you can top and bottom simplify. So 9 and 4 don't have a common factor. 3 and 2 don't have a common factor. 3, I can do it across, tops and bottoms only though. 3 and 4 do not have a common factor, and 9 and 2 do not have a common factor. So I can't simplify it that way. 9 times 3 is 27. 4 times 2 is 8. 27 and 8 do not have a common factor, so I can't simplify this improper fraction, but I can change it into a mixed number. Let's do that. 27 divided by 8. Again, if I can carry 8 bags of groceries into the house at one time, how many full loads can I take into the house? I will be able to take 3 full loads, which is 24 bags, and there will be 3 bags left in my car out of the 8 that I can carry. So 3 3/8. 3 3/8 cups of flour. Right here, I want you to pause it or show me what you know with number 1, 2, and 3. All right, 3 1/4 times 2 1/2. Bottom times big plus top. Bottom times big plus top. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 13 times 5 is 65. And 4 times 2 is 8. 65 divided by 8 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. And I'll have 1/8 left over. So 8 1/8 would be my answer. 2 5/6 and 1 1/3. Bottom times big plus top. Bottom times big plus top. 6 times 2 plus 5. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 5 is 17. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. I can top and bottom simplify on this one. 4 and 3 do not have a common factor. 17 and 6 do not. 17 and 3 do not, but 4 and 6 do. 4 and 6 are both divisible by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. 17 times 2 is 34, and 3 times 3 is 9. If I have 9 bags as a full load and I have 34 bags in the back of my car, how many can I carry into the house? I can carry 3 full loads, so that's 27 bags, and then I'll have 7 bags left out of 9. So I can carry 3 7/9, 3 full loads and 7 bags out of 9. All right. If I had not had simplified, I still could have multiplied 17 times 4 and 6 times 3, gotten 18 as my denominator, and then simplified that. Still come up with the same answer, 3 7/9. Number 3, I was making dip that called for 1 3/4 ounces of cream cheese for a party. 3 1/2 times more people decided to come to the party than originally thought would come. How much cream cheese is needed now? I needed 1 3/4 ounces. Now I have to multiply that times 3 1/2. Again, change mixed to improper. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7/4. Again, change mixed to improper. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7/2. And then I'm going to multiply across. 7 times 7 is 49. 4 times 2 is 8. 49 divided by 8 is 6, with 1 left over because 6 times 8 is 48. 1 left over out of 8. 6 1/8 ounces of cream cheese is needed.